Ready? Go.
Hello. This comes from my childhood of maybe 7 or 8 years old. And back in those days, we lived in Chiefland, Florida, and we didn't have any doctors over there to speak of. We had one-armed doctor.
Who was
that
that?
Well, I'm not going to say because it might hurt his feelings. But anyway,
He's probably not around anymore.
I doubt it.
But it was a one-armed doctor in Chiefland?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so if you had anything really wrong with you, you came to Gainesville to see the doctor. And so every time we came to Gainesville to see the doctor, we always stopped by Wise's drugstore to get the prescriptions refilled or filled, because that was the one pharmacy in town, and so the one we used. So on this particular day, we had come over here for something. I don't even know what the reason was, but I'll never forget the upsetness that I had about this incident, and I remember it to this day with strong emotion. But we went in, Rise's drugstore had a counter where you sit and order things. You order little sandwiches and drinks and stuff like that. They freshly cook it behind the counter.
Well, tell about what you always got when you went to Wise's. That was one thing all the kids got when they went to the doctor and they went to Wise's.
What was
piece
that?
of gum.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we had already been good at the doctor, see. So we were given a piece of gum before we got to the fountain there. So we already was chewing on our chewing gum. Well, we all sat down, lined up. I don't remember who all was there. It might have been just me because Plant and Karen were not born yet. So it might have been just me and, if anybody, the two boys, but I don't recall remembering them there. So anyway, got our sandwiches and we waiting on the prescription. And so I told Mama that I wasn't finished with my gum and that I wanted to keep it. And she said, well, just put it on that piece of lettuce right there. And when you get through eating, you can just put it back in your mouth and chew it. So I said, oh, okay, that'll work out. So I put it there. Apparently I'd taken a piece of lettuce off the sandwich because I don't like lettuce. So I put it there. And so I finished up my sandwich. We got ready to pay. And the girl started clearing off the counter. And she didn't ask me one thing about did I want my gum. She just swooshed it all off the table and threw the whole works away of what was left on that plate.
So the lettuce with your piece of gum stuck to it.
Stuck to it, went in the garbage. And it broke my heart.
Aww.
I was so sad. And I don't know if I waited. I think I waited till I got outside the store, but I started crying. And I was boo-hooing, just like I had lost my last best friend or a favorite pet or something, just sobbing about it. And I wouldn't tell Mom and Daddy what was wrong. They kept saying, what is wrong? I said, I don't know. I don't know. Nothing. So they couldn't find out from me what it was that had happened. And they still didn't know. They didn't know that. Probably didn't even remember telling me to put the gum there, So anyway, by the time we got home from Gainesville to Chiefland, they had found out what the deal was, you know. And so they had said, well, we'll get you some more chewing gum when we get home. So don't worry about it. I said, well, I don't want any more chewing gum. I want the piece of chewing gum that I had. That's the one I want. Well, you can't have it. It's gone. Then I'd start crying all over again. So anyway, I don't really remember how it ended. I just remember that as being a trauma that I never forgot. It hurt my feelings so bad that those people would take my piece of gum and just throw it in the garbage with no thought of anything.
She had no idea that there was a piece of gum on the lettuce.
She didn't
She
know.
was just cleaning up, doing her job.
She didn't have that's how things are. She didn't know at all what she had done, and that she had just broken me up. So anyway, that's a short story there, a very short story.
But a big trauma in your life.
A big emotional impact it did make. Since I never, ever forgot it, and I can't think of it today without it making me cry almost.
Aww.
It just hurt me so bad. Those were nice ladies that worked there. They never would have done it. I knew they wouldn't have tried to hurt me, but they just didn't ask me if I wanted my gum back.
And you had just put it in your mouth, right? You hadn't hardly even chewed it.
No, it just was still all juicy, you know.
All good, juicy fruit, right?
And we didn't get juicy fruit often. That was a special, special treat. They didn't like to give us juicy fruit because it was too sweet. So anyway, that's the story of that. That goes back to a summertime. I do remember it was summertime. And it seems like we were driving the Buick. But other than that, I don't know what time of year it was or what time of month or anything. But it just is a little tale of how we always came to Gainesville to go to the doctor for one. How we always went by Wise's to get something to eat and our prescriptions for two. And how sensitive I was for three.
And how y'all would always get that piece of gum. That was so cool.
Always get the piece of gum.
Yeah.
And there was just nothing, there was no amount of gums that ever compensated for that.
Yeah, didn't they wanted to give you a piece of peppermint gum or spearmint gum?
Whatever, that's going to give me a whole 5-pack or whatever I wanted. But it didn't make any difference because it wasn't that one piece.
Yeah. All right, well, sign off, say goodbye, and I'll leave it on until you're done.
Okay. Well, I'll just sign off on that one. That's a very kind of a boring little thing, but
No,
it's not really boring to me because I wouldn't have remembered it all these years if it was.
Yeah, exactly. It made an impact on your life.
It sure did. So every now and then I flash before my eyes too, that thing. Sitting there, little old girl.
With her braids, probably.
With her braids. Yeah. Probably had on a little skirt or dress because we didn't wear pants back in those days. Probably had a little dress on, nicely braided hair. And it was my weekly treat. And I got it stolen from me. That's the way I looked at it. She stole it from me. She threw it in the garbage. Just like I was nobody.
Oh my God. That's the mind of a 7-year-old, right?
Yeah, that's it. So at least it's over and it's past in the way past. But that's the way that was.
Okay, so you done?
Yeah.
Alright, can I shut it off now?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3.